Here is a situation almost every business owner knows too well. You put out one job ad, and within a week, you have 40, 50, sometimes 100 resumes sitting in your inbox. You need to hire one good person, and every application is now standing between you and running your business. You read the first 10 while you are fresh, get tired, start judging by which layout looks nicest, and quietly let the rest pile up. Today, I want to show you a faster and fairer way. Not an agency, not a fancy hiring platform, but an AI assistant that does the heavy reading, compares a stack of resumes against the criteria you actually care about, and hands you back a shortlist you can act on in minutes instead of hours. One honest note first. This is about helping you decide, not deciding for you. An AI can carry bias, it can misread a person, and it must never be the thing that rejects someone on its own. You stay the one who decides. Keep that front and center, and this becomes genuinely useful. The honest grind. Let us start with where most owners are stuck, and call it level 0. Level 0 screening comes in two flavors, and both are bad. The first is the honest grind. You open every resume one by one, and somewhere around the 20th CV, your attention fades and you stop reading properly. You start pattern matching on surface things instead, a familiar company name, a tidy layout, a gap in the dates, hours vanish, and your judgment gets worse as you go, not better. The second flavor is worse. You are too busy, so you barely screen at all. You grab the first few that look fine, interview them, and hire whoever is least bad, never even seeing the strong candidate sitting at position 40. Neither one is a system. One burns time you do not have, the other trades a rear hire for whoever landed near the top of the pile. There is a middle path, and that is level 1. What good actually looks like. Before we touch any tool, get clear on what you are actually screening for, because a vague standard produces a vague shortlist. Really, you are checking each person against what good actually looks like for this role. So write it down. What are the must-haves? The things a candidate truly cannot do the job without. What are the nice-to-haves? Helpful but not deal breakers. What would make you say no straight away? And just as important, what should not matter? The things you want to be sure you are not quietly rewarding, like which neighborhood someone lives in. It tells the AI exactly what to look for, and it forces you to decide what fairness means for this role before a single resume is judged. Give it the must-haves. Here is the shift that makes this work. You do not upload a folder of resumes and type-pick the best one, because a lazy instruction gets a shallow, confident answer you cannot trust. Instead, you give the AI a brief the way you would brief a fair-minded assistant on their first day. You tell it the role and what the person will actually do day to day. Then you give it the must-haves and nice-to-haves you just wrote down. Then you tell it exactly what you want back. Read each of these resumes. Tell me how well each one matches the must-haves. Give me a short list of the strongest 5, and write a short, plain reason for each. You can even tell it what to ignore, and you should. Do not consider names, ages, or where someone lives. Judge only on the ability to do this job. The more specific your brief, the more useful and the more fair the result, because now the AI is comparing people against the role, not against your gut. Now the actual screening workflow, the part you can copy, because once you run it, once it becomes a habit. It is 5 steps. Step 1, write your criteria, the must-haves, the nice-to-haves, and what should be ignored. Step 2, hand the AI the resumes along with that brief and ask for a ranked shortlist. Step 3, ask it to explain itself, a short plain reason for each person it put forward, and why it set others aside. Step 4, and this is the step nobody should skip. You read that reasoning and check it against the actual resumes yourself, because the AI can misread a date or miss a strength. You are hunting for good candidates it wrongly dropped, not just nodding along with the ones it kept. Step 5. You make the human call on who to interview, and you ask the AI to draft tailored interview questions for each person. Write your criteria, get the shortlist, get the reasons, check the work, decide and prepare. That whole loop runs before lunch. Reasons deciders came in well. Let me make that concrete with a made-up example. Picture a small accounting firm owner and call him Daniel. Daniel is a stand-in for a lot of owners I speak to. Daniel needs one junior bookkeeper and 60 resumes came in. He writes his criteria. Must have, comfortable with the accounting software his firm runs on and at least a year handling real books. Nice to have, some experience with small business clients. Ignore names, photos and age. He drops the whole folder of CVs into the AI with that brief and asks for the strongest 5, each with a one-line reason. A minute later, he has a short list, every candidate flagged with a plain reason he can read and sanity check. Then he opens the resumes himself and spots a strong candidate the AI ranked low because of an odd layout, so he adds her back in. Finally, he asks the AI to draft 3 interview questions per person, tied to their actual background. By lunch, he has a fair shortlist and real questions, and he spends his afternoon on the people who deserve it. That is level 1, runs on gut feel. Now let me name the real difference this makes, because it is not only about saving time, it is about how you decide. Level 0 screening runs on gut feel and fatigue. You favor the resume that looks nice, and by the bottom of the pile, you are just trying to be done. Worse, gut feel is exactly where hidden bias hides, because a hunch never has to explain itself. Level 1 screening runs on stated criteria. Every candidate is checked against the same written must-haves, so the strong applicant at position 40 gets the same look as the one at position 2. And because the AI writes down a reason for each choice, the reasoning is out in the open where you can inspect it, argue with it, and overrule it. You are not just faster, you are consistent, and your reasons are visible instead of buried in a feeling. This next part is not optional, and I want to be direct. The AI assists. Say it plainly, you decide, not the AI. It can rank, summarize, and point out matches, but it must never be the thing that rejects a human being on its own. So a few rules to keep this fair. Never reject someone solely on an AI score. Use the shortlist to decide who to look at more closely, not who to throw away unseen. Actively watch for bias, because these tools learn from the past, and the past is full of unfair patterns. So if a shortlist looks too samey, push back and ask why. Always read the reasoning, not just the ranking, because a fair reason and a biased one can produce the same number. Check the candidates it dropped, not only the ones it kept, since the mistake that hurts a person is the strong applicant quietly filtered out. And mind the data, these are real people's personal details, so be careful what you upload and use tools you trust. Do these things and the AI stays a helpful reader. Skip them and you have automated your blind spots at scale. What despises you? Here is what despises you. 3 things. First, you interview the right people, because every resume got a fair, consistent read against the role, so the strong candidate near the bottom of the pile actually gets seen. Second, you move faster, because screening that used to eat an entire evening now fits into a few minutes, so you reply to good people while they are still available. Third, you show up to interviews prepared with tailored questions tied to each person's real background. You are using a tireless reader to make sure everyone gets looked at properly, so the human judgment you bring lands on the people who earned it. A simple way to start. If you want to try this, here is a simple way to start, and it is smaller than you think. Next time you have a stack of resumes, just write down 3 must-haves for the role and 1 line about what to ignore. Hand the AI a handful of those resumes with that short brief and ask for a ranked shortlist with a reason for each. Then, and this is the part that teaches you the most, open those same resumes yourself and see where you agree and where you do not. You will feel 2 things at once: how much reading it did in a minute and why your judgment on top of it is not optional. 1 row, 1 small stack, 1 honest check. Do it once, and the next time you are drowning in applications, reaching for this will feel natural instead of a core. The honest limits, and because I promised no hype, here are the honest limits. An AI cannot tell you who a person really is. It reads a document, not a human being. So warmth, drive, and character all live outside what it can see. It can carry the biases baked into the data it learned from, which is exactly why you watch the shortlist and read the reasons rather than trusting the ranking. It can misread a resume, penalize an unusual career path, or overvalue the right buzzwords, so a low rank is a prompt to look, never a verdict. And it handles sensitive personal data, so treat privacy as part of the job, not an afterthought. Use it to read widely and fairly and to prepare well. Then bring your own judgment, your own fairness, and a real conversation to the parts that decide someone's livelihood. Do that and it earns its place. Forget it and you have dressed up an unfair shortcut in new technology. Quick recap. Let me put it together. Level 0 screening is either an exhausting grind through a pile of resumes until your judgment fades, or barely screening at all and hiring whoever landed near the top. Level 1 is writing down what the role truly needs, handing an AI the resumes with those criteria, and getting back a ranked shortlist with a plain reason for each, plus tailored interview questions. The workflow is 5 steps. Write your criteria, get the shortlist, get the reasons, check the work yourself, and make the human call. You always read the reasoning and watch for bias. You never reject on a score alone, and you decide, not the AI. Faster screening, fairer shortlist, and your time spent interviewing the right people. If you have ever let good resumes pile up because you simply ran out of hours, this is the workflow that gets everyone a fair read and puts your time where it counts. And we made a free, step-by-step course that walks you from level 0 to level 1 in plain language, no jargon, and no technical background needed. It shows you how to get an AI assistant onto your own computer and working with your real business, so you can try this properly on your own hiring instead of taking my word for it. Head to afirstasia.com/level1 and take the free course. Do it once, screen one real stack of resumes, and feel the difference for yourself. And if you want more of this, practical AI workflows built for SME owners, honest and no hype, then subscribe. Level 1 is right there. Go take the